All right. Hello, everybody. Let me just make sure we're live and you guys can hear and see me. All right, say hi, guys, as you join. All right, I think we're good. Just want to make sure. Here we are live. Awesome. All right, say hello as you guys join. Hashtag live, hashtag replay, depending on how you're tuning in here today. So thank you guys so much for being here with me for another weekly sales training. And today I want to talk about the top 2 focuses to generate more sales. And so I think that this is a really, really good topic because I think there's a lot of things that you could be doing in your business, right? But there's only so many things that you need to be doing if you want to generate more sales, regardless of your stage of business. So if you are here for the first time tuning in, thank you so much for being here and welcome to this week's sales training. My name is Keaney. I'm a human behavior sales coach and trainer for CEOs and sellers. So I actually train CEOs and sellers to be top performing, top earning in their title. And so we have a sales training program where we train you on human behavior, sales techniques, strategies, and behavior. Today, I'm really excited to talk about the 2 top focuses for more sales. Get you guys kind of focused, get you dialed in as we enter in here, mid-month here of the final quarter of the year, right? So most people about this time are really thinking about the level of support that they want to receive as they come into the new year. They're thinking about how can we reach end of quarter goals for this year? How can we really blow out the year strong? And so I want to talk about the top 2 focuses for more sales, regardless of your stage or age of business. So you could be brand new, you could be 5-figure, 6-figure, 7-figure, 8-figure. Okay. And I want to really talk with you about the 2 things that are going to drive the most sales in your business, regardless of your niche and regardless of your stage or age. So if you're excited to hear more about that, let me know in the comments. As I go through this today, feel free to drop questions below if you have any. I'm happy to answer them. We should have a few minutes for some questions at the end. So oftentimes when we think about sales, right? And again, we talk to about 200 entrepreneurs a day. And in those conversations, one of the top things we talk about, obviously, is sales. And so we'll ask them, what are you currently doing right now to drive sales in your business? What are your sales activities? Where does 90% of your day go? Like, what types of things are you working on about 90% of the time or on average in your business every day to drive sales? And a lot of those conversations, out of 200 conversations a day, a lot of those conversations are things like, I'm creating content, I'm sharing that content on multiple platforms, I'm working on building a website or a sales page for my program that I haven't sold yet. I'm creating Canva images to go with the posts that I'm going to be putting out on social media. I've been learning some new strategies like funnels and how to build a course and how to do a webinar and all of these things. Now, all of those things are really great, right? All of those things are really great, but none of those are sales activities. None of those things are actually sales activities, right? Those types of activities are content, marketing, creative. They're not activities that produce sales. What I want to be really, really, really clear about, because I want everyone to really understand the difference, marketing and content is designed to build your audience. It's designed to nurture your audience, to educate your audience, to provide value to your audience so people know you exist. Sales activities are designed to add new clients to your program and put new money in your bank. So these are 2 totally different things. Content, marketing, and creation are not sales activities. And so a lot of people, again, we're having about 200, my sellers are having 200 conversations a day. And in those conversations, about 90% of what those business owners are telling us that they're doing on average for most of their day to drive sales in their business is creating content and getting it out on all the platforms, creating Canva images to go with those. They're building website pages, sales pages for programs they've never sold. They're working on like investing in programs that teach them funnels, automation, courses, webinars, all this stuff. And again, those things are great, right? But those activities are not designed to put money in your bank by end of day or new clients in your programs by the end of today, right? Those activities are designed to nurture your audience, build your audience, educate them on who you are, what you do, how you can help them so they care to listen, and provide value so that your people know you exist, right? Sales activities are not the same as marketing and content. So I just think that it's really important. I kind of want to kick off with that because I think a lot of you are working really hard. And I think that most of you think that you're doing a lot of activities that should be producing sales. But I'll say it again, and I say this all the time, people are doing 90% marketing, expecting sales. Marketing activities don't produce sales because that's not what they're designed for. They're not the same thing. Marketing and sales are two different things. When you understand that, you can shift your focus, right? Like a lot of people are not focusing on sales activities. You're focusing on marketing activities and you're expecting sales, right? So I just want to kind of have that distinction. I want to be very, very clear. Content is great. Marketing is great. Sales is better. Okay. Sales is better. Sales pays the bills. Sales activities put new clients in your program so you can have an impact, transformation, you can help them. And it puts new money in your bank account so that you can live your dream, right? Sales activities do that. Marketing activities don't do that, okay? So I wanted to make sure that we're really, really clear that if your focus is to drive more sales in your business and your focus is to put new clients in your programs and new money in your bank account, then we need to shift the focus from so much marketing and content, and we need to start focusing on sales activities, okay? So now your question might be like, okay, holy moly, I'm doing all those things you just said. I am creating content. I'm learning funnels. I'm learning automation. I'm doing webinars. I'm doing challenges. I'm on all the platforms. I'm going live. Like I'm doing. What else could I possibly be doing to generate sales? And that's what I want to talk about today. Okay. So in the conversations that my sellers, I want to be very clear that for the first 15 years of my business, I did all the sales activities in my company until I no longer had to. And then I hired sellers and now they do it. So in the sales conversations, in conversations that my sales team is having every single day in our company, which is 200 a day, that's our metric. That's our goal every day is to have 200 conversations. We often hear very talented and very capable coaches and sellers struggling in the sales department, right? Because they're creating content and they're posting, they're on all the platforms, they've invested in all the strategies known to man, right? And they're still not making the sales they want. So in their minds, they're like, I don't get it. Like, what else could I do? I'm already working a ton. I'm already putting in more hours than I can really handle. And like, how am I going to generate more money if I have to do more, right? So the problem is there's a disconnect with the way that you're spending your time, like the things you're spending your time on and what results you're getting from those things. So that kind of inspired me today to share the top 2 focuses. When I think about my sales team, they have 200 conversations a day. We have 5 sales calls a day, and we close 1 to 2 sales a day. Those are the metrics I have for my team. That's basically like by end of day, that's what they do. It's not even, there's no exceptions. There's no excuses. There's no rules. There's no like that's it, right? Like in my company, for us to produce the results and reach our goals, then we need 200 conversations a day. We need to be having 5 sales conversations a day, and we need to close 1 to 2 sales a day. Period. End of conversation. I don't care how you get it done, and we move on with the day. And so my sales team does this in about 4 hours a day. They back into those metrics in 4 hours a day. Many of you guys are working far beyond that, and we're not closing 1 or 2 sales a day. Some of you guys that we've talked to, you're not even closing a sale a week. Some of you, not even a sale a month, right? My sales team works 4 hours a day, and we never, ever end the day without at least 1 sale, okay? So I want you to understand that you can work really hard in your business and not produce any results. You can also work really hard, but work less hours and generate far more results if you shift your focus. Okay. And this applies for you if you're a CEO and you run your own business and you're the person doing the sales. Then you need to shift your focus on whatever you're doing and focus on sales activities. If you're a CEO and you have a seller, your seller needs to be doing this. Your seller needs to be driving sales and profit in your business, or they're costing you money. And if you're a seller, you need to be high performing, top earning in your title, in your role, right? Which means you have to focus on sales growth every single day, and there's no exceptions to it. So no matter what stage of business you're at, whether it's you doing it or you're hiring a seller to do it, or you are the seller, we have to focus on sales activities to drive sales growth every day. Not once a week, not once a month, not once a quarter, not only when we're launching, every day. Right? I have clients that come to me all the time who are super launch dependent and super launch heavy. In order for them to generate sales, they have to do these big, extravagant launches all the time. And when they're not doing those launches, they don't generate sales. You have to have a system where you're generating and driving sales growth every day. Whether you're doing a launch or you're not doing a launch, right? It doesn't matter. There needs to be a system for that, a strategy and a system for how that gets done. So I told you my sales team does 200 conversations a day, 5 sales conversations a day, and they close 1 to 2 sales a day. Those are metrics. I also have to teach my sellers the activities to back into those metrics. I can't just say, hey, sellers, go talk to 200 people, close a sale today. They wouldn't know what the heck they're doing. You also need a strategy. The system is the metrics. The system is like, these are the goals. This is what we're trying to accomplish in this amount of time a day. Here's that. The strategy is like, great. How do we back into that and get that done? Okay. So you need to have a system and a strategy. Businesses don't make money if they don't have both of those running. Okay. So when I think about my sellers and how they spend their time every day and how do they meet those daily metrics, how are those goals accomplished? There's only 2 things my team does every day. Grab a pen, grab something to write with, and write this down. There's only 2 things that my sellers do every single day. And this is what I did for 15 years. Every single day until I made enough money to hire sellers to do it for me. In my own business, I did these same 2 things. Number 1, connections. And number 2, conversations. 98% of you don't talk to enough people a day to generate a sale a month. Okay? Most of you do not speak to nearly enough people. You're not having enough conversations to even generate a sale a month, let alone a sale a day or a sale a week. Connections and conversations. If you're not doing those 2 things, or your seller in your company, you have already fallen behind the mark. Your competitors are already above you because they're already doing this. I know because millionaires hire me to do this with their sales teams because what they were doing 6 months ago is not enough anymore. All the content they've been putting out isn't cutting it anymore. So now they're hiring sellers to get in chats and get in conversations and drive sales, and they're hiring me to train them. So multi-millionaires are doing these 2 things every single day. If you're not generating multiple millions in your business, you're not above this activity, right? You're not too good to do this. Everybody needs to be doing this. It's not even like a question in today's online space anymore. Multi-millionaires have sellers. They have teams of sellers who are creating connections and conversations, and they're driving sales growth in their business every single day. That's how critical this is. So all this other activity you've been doing, you have to find a way to shift your focus into an activity that is designed to produce a sale instead of activity that's designed to produce likes and hearts, or people joining your Facebook group, or people seeing your content, right? Because those are great, but those don't produce sales at the end of the day. If you think of any business in the whole world, right? Like, let's think offline for a minute, because I think when we get online, everybody thinks business is totally different online, and it's not. If you think about any business offline, your grocery store, your gas station, your hair salon, your favorite pizza parlor, anything. Think of the places that you go shop front and center, local to you, down the street, in your town. Those are businesses. They have a sign over the door that says open, and they have their doors unlocked, and they are open for business 365 days out of the year, right? Any place that you can think of is open for business every day. A business online that is not open for business every day and is not driving sales in their business every day is a dying business. Okay, online business is no different. If you want to survive, if you want to be profitable, if you want to make money, if you want to have a business in 4 years, 5 years, 10, 20, 50, if you want to create generational wealth, you need sales. Your business is not a business if it's broke. A business needs money to survive, right? So when you look at your business like a business instead of a hobby, right? Some of you have an expensive hobby, but if you look at your business like an actual business, every business you can think of is open 365 days out of the year. We are open for business every day. Why are we any different, right? So when I hire sellers, I'm not hiring them to play on social media. I'm not hiring them to brainstorm creative ideas. I'm hiring them to generate sales, go get customers, close deals, right? Because a business that's not doing that, and a business that doesn't even know how to do that, is not a business, right? It will never survive in this economy. So we need to focus more on generating sales. And the way to do that, two top things: more connections and more conversation. Okay, and I'm going to give you a couple ideas here in a minute to back into this. I want you to understand how important this is. And you might not like it, and it might not sound sexy, and it might be a hard pill to swallow, but the fact is the fact. Okay, the reality is the reality. The space we live in today, your business cannot survive if you are not focusing on generating sales through building relationships with humans. Okay, and we're going to talk about that in a minute. But if you have 100 or 200 conversations a day, you will generate a sale a day. On average, in the coaching service space niche, 100 conversations will yield you one sale on average. And I'm saying across the board. My multi-million-dollar coaches who hire me to train their sales team, they close a sale a day when they have 100 conversations a day. My clients that are making nothing close a sale a day by talking to 100 people a day. It does not matter where you're at in your business. If you want to generate a sale every single day, then you need to be having 100 conversations a day minimum, right? If not more. Unless you have hundreds of thousands of people in your audience and you have hundreds of thousands of dollars to throw on advertising to drive automation, which most of you do not, right? Unless you're like Gary Vee or Chandra Sumter or something like that, unless you have that brand like that, you're down in the weeds having conversations to close sales to get to that point, right? So rather you're the CEO doing this, if you have a seller doing this, or you are the seller, the focus for you every single day should be to connect with the current people within your audience, right? As well as new leads coming through, and book sales conversations, period. If you did those two things and you took away 80%, if I eliminated and took away from you 80% of what most of you do every single day, it wouldn't affect your sales one bit. You would not lose any money because most of what you guys are doing is not sales activities, right? It's not designed to produce sales, which is why you're not generating sales with what you're doing every day. So even if I took 80% away from you, 80% of what you're doing every day on average, if I took that away from you, you wouldn't lose money at all because most of what you're doing is not designed to produce money, and it's not producing money, right? Very, very little bit of what you're doing is actually producing sales. The rest of it, you could go without and you'd still make more money, okay? So we need to be connecting with your audience. So how many of you here, you know your audience's name? You can, when you hear their name, you can put their face to the name. How many of you know their name, where they live, how many kids they have, their goals, how much money they make, what their personal business goals are, what their buying timeline is, what they're looking for in their words, not yours, what they're ready to buy in right now today, what their biggest obstacle or challenge is in their words, not yours. How many of you know all of that about your audience? And let me ask you this. How many of you know the names of the people that are going to buy from you this week? How many of you know the names of the people that are going to be buying from you next week? How many of you know the names of the people that are buying from you in 3 months, 4 months, 6 months from today? You know who they are, you know their names, and you know what program they're coming into. How many of you know that? If you're a seller, who are those people? Do you know what I do with my sellers on our weekly meetings every week? Who are the 5 people you're having a sales conversation with today? Who do you have booked for sales conversations next week? Who's our next sale for today? Who's closing this week? Who's closing next week? Those are the metrics we have on our sales meeting. What metrics are you guys having on your sales meetings? Because that's what we're talking about. And they have to list out 5 people that they're talking to this week or today about our programs. And I want names of the people who are buying and what are they buying and what's the date that they're closing. These are sales activities, right? This is why it doesn't matter what happens in the economy or how the algorithm changes. We are never broke. We have more sales, more conversations than we could ever handle, because this is what we do all day long. We only put out 3 pieces of content a week, and that's it. What we're doing with our time is we are down in the DMs, we are on calls, we are nurturing, we are having conversations, we are activating leads, we are building trust, and we are closing deals every day. That's what we do, okay? There's a big difference in the way that you guys run your business and how we run business. I'm a sales coach and a sales trainer, so my focus is sales, right? I'm impressed when people make new sales every day. I'm impressed when new money hits your bank account every day. The rest of the stuff I could care less about. I don't care about how much content you put out. I don't care what platform you're dancing on. I don't care how many people, you talked to a month ago. I don't care like how many hours you worked today. I don't care what check boxes you checked on. I care about how many sales did you make today and how many new clients came into your programs that you're going to change their life and how many new sales hit your bank account today. That's what I care about. I don't care about the rest of the stuff. So when I'm talking to my team or my clients, that's the stuff I want to know. How many conversations are we having? How many sales calls? Who's closing this week? Who's closing next week? And what are they closing into? Do you have any idea where your next sale is coming from? Do you know the name of the person? Do you know the date? Can you predict your sales in 5 months from now? Can you predict your sales in 6 months from now? Tomorrow, next month? Those are the things that drive sales growth in a business, right? All the other stuff is just extra stuff. It's busy work. It's busy. It's fun. It's creative, but it doesn't make money, right? How many of you here are having so much fun creating content, dancing on TikTok, building websites and Canva images, and you're flat broke? How many of you here are experiencing that? It doesn't sound very fun to me, right? That doesn't sound fun. But our brains naturally want to go to the fun, sexy stuff that's really creative. And those are the things that don't make us money, right? That's why I tell people all the time, if you think you're going to be motivated in your business every day, you're not. You're not, because half of the stuff that generates sales and new clients is not sexy, creative, or fun, okay? But you have to recommit to your goals and you have to get focused, and you need to understand that there's activities that just keep you really busy, and there's activities that put new sales and clients in your bank and your programs. Which one do you want? Right? Do you want to have fun and just create content and dance on TikTok and create courses that nobody's buying? Or do you want to actually go generate new clients in your programs that you can now serve and impact, and new sales in your bank so you can live your dreams? Like, which one do you want? And that's the commitment you have to make. And then you need to back into what it takes to accomplish that. Something I say all the time, and if you've been around me for a while, you've heard this or you've seen my post around this. None of you have unrealistic goals. I don't think any of you have unrealistic goals or goals that are ridiculous. I think that your expectations on what those goals are going to take is underestimated. Okay? I don't think your goals are too big. I just think that you underestimate what it's going to take to actually accomplish those goals. Right? It's not a build it, they will come. It's not a manifest it, it'll fall in your lap. It's not a like, let me feel in the energy and dream it up and it shows up. Like, you have to get out there like an athlete, get on the field and do the work. And the work is down in the conversations, building relationships with the people you're asking to pay you. If you're asking someone to trust you with their money and to invest in working with you because you're an expert at what you do, then you should be having those conversations and taking the time to connect with those people and build a relationship with those people if you're going to ask them to pay you, right? I think that, again, it's reciprocity. If you're just asking of everybody, but you're not doing or giving, then, at the end of the day, most people will not buy from you. And here's the thing, online or offline, humans buy and humans invest in brands that they know, like, and trust. And you should write that down because you could take that to the bank. Write that down and take it to your bank. Humans buy and invest in brands they know, like, and trust. Period. No one's going to argue that. At the end of the day, pure fact, right? We make investments and we buy from the people and the brands that we know, like, and trust. If your friend says, hey, go down to the pizza joint down the street, best pizza you'll ever have in your life, whether you've ever been there or not, you're going to go there because your BFF said it was the best place and you know her, like her, and trust her. So you're going to shop there. You're going to go eat it. You're going to go try the pizza. Right? We shop from the brands and the people we know, like, and trust. If you're putting all this hard work and building an audience and then you don't even take the time or energy to connect with them, nurture them, build trust with them, talk to them, spend time with them, get to know them, learn what they want, learn what they need, learn what they don't, learn their language. Like, if you're not doing that and you're not building rapport, relationship, or any conversation and trust, no one's giving you their money today. People are more skeptical today than they've ever been their whole life. People are more smart than they've ever been their whole life. They will Google you. They will compare you. They will find things for free that they need. They do not have to invest with you. They have a million choices and options today. If you want them to buy from you over anybody else, then you better take the time to get down in the weeds and have conversations and build rapport, trust, and relationships with those people, or they will buy from your competitor. They will buy from somebody else who's willing to do that, right? Again, this is extremely, extremely important. Okay, there's a million ways to Sunday for you guys to generate, to work in your business, to create your business, to launch your business. There's a million things that you can be doing, right? But every single day, you need to focus on sales. How do we drive new sales in the company, right? You're not running a charity, right? And who wants an expensive hobby? Nobody wants an expensive hobby. Everybody wants a profitable business, a successful business, a business that makes money, right? So in order to do that, you've got to focus on sales activities, right? Okay. So I want to talk about a few metrics and some ways to back in. If you guys have questions, now would be the time to drop them below. I want to talk about a few of the ways that you can start to do this. So number one, to back into these types of goals and to back into driving sales growth and sales in your business every day, goals and metrics need to be in place. You've got to know what your goals are. And I'm going to tell you right now, 100K a year is not a goal. 50K a month is not a goal. Okay, that doesn't mean anything. I don't know what that means. You need to have goals and metrics. So what do you want to accomplish, right? Specifically, and by when do you want to accomplish it? And then reverse engineer and back into it. If you say you want to generate $50,000 a month, by when do you want to start doing that? Because here's what I'll tell you. If you want 50K months as you head into the new year, or if you want 50K months starting January 2023, Guess when you have to start doing that? You have to start doing that right now, right here in October. Because whatever effort you put in is not going to pay off for 90 days. If you want to come into January 2023 doing 50K months, you have to start doing that right now. Like, you're already 3 weeks behind. It takes 90 days for a goal to actually pay off. Okay, so number one, if your goal, let's say your goal is 50K a month, by when do you want to be doing that? And then once you know when you want to start creating 50K months, okay, and again, understanding if you're generating 0 right now and you want 50K months, what you're doing now is not going to produce it. So you better be willing to do something different, right? Because what got you where you are right now, or what has you where you are, is not going to be the thing that's going to get you to the next level, right? Doing what you've been doing today isn't going to get you to your 50K month, 100K month, or whatever your goal is. You have to be willing to do something different to get something different, right? There's this whole thing called insanity. Doing the same thing over and over, expecting the same result, it's not a thing. That's not a thing. If you want a different outcome, something has to change, right? So what is the goal, and by when do you want it? And then we got to back into it. Great. So what activities do I have to do to make that goal happen? And then you open up your calendar and you block that time out. It is uninterrupted time for you to work in your business on sales activities. If you're someone that jumps out of bed and you just open up your social media and you're like, great, yay, what are we doing today? I'm going to create some weird content. What should I post today? I don't know what I should post. Let me think of what I should post. And you spend 3 hours thinking about what you should post. And then you spend another hour creating the post. And then another half hour to an hour creating the Canva images. And then another hour creating a page that you think people might want to sign up on. And before you know it, your day is over and you've done nothing today. You need to have a structure and a system for how are you creating 50K months, 20K, 10K, whatever your goal is. Take your goal, and then how are you creating that? What things are going to put that money in your actual bank account, right? Because 90% of what most of you are doing are not sales activities. And you're learning that because what you're doing is not producing any sales, right? So a huge part of being focused and not getting distracted is having a blocked out time where you say, I'm doing this sales activity for 30 minutes, 0 interruptions. Or I'm going to do this activity for 1 hour, 0 interruptions. I'm not doing anything else while I do this. If my sales team did not time block and follow a schedule and a system, they would not be able to do 200 conversations a day. They would not be able to close a sale a day. There's no way they could do that flying by the seat of their pants, or sitting here and getting up in the morning and being like, Ann wants us to get a sale today. How should we do it? Let's think about it. Let's spend 2 hours thinking, and then we'll spend an hour creating some content, getting it out on some platforms. We're going to sit back and twiddle our thumbs, and we're going to hope the algorithm gets our message into the world. That's not going to happen, right? Hope is not a strategy. You got to get to work. You got to get to work, or you're not going to change your business. You're not going to make more sales thinking about it, talking about it, dreaming about it. You got to actually do the work, right? So you need to know the goal and by when, and you need to back into that. And you got to have a schedule. There's no successful millionaire or billionaire or anybody on the planet that makes good money successfully and consistently, that wakes up in the morning and says, I don't know what I'm doing today, but let me think of what I could do. What could I do today? I don't know what to say. What should I say today? No one's doing that is successful, right? That is a massive lack of prioritization, organization, clarity, right? And that can't change if something doesn't change. That will happen. That will go on for years. I have people in my audience who have been doing that for 5 years. They're still doing the same thing today they did 5 years ago when I talked to them, spinning their wheels. No money, spinning their wheels, right? They're just switching it up every day. They don't know what they're doing one day to the next. When I say, what's your sales system? I don't know. Putting out content. I'm going to play on TikTok this week. Oh, okay. What other platform? I'm on all the platforms. I'm not making money on any of them, so I'm going to add a new one. That doesn't logically make sense, guys, right? That doesn't make sense. If you're not able to have success with one thing, you're probably not going to have success with 50 things, right? You've got to dial your focus, and you got to do things for 90 days minimum, or you're not doing it long enough to get a result. Okay? You're not doing it long enough. If you're not doing something consistently for a minimum of 90 days, you're not even doing it long enough. You're already taking yourself out right before you start seeing momentum. You're not even doing it long enough. Okay? You got to understand you're playing a long game here. Right? So things take time to pay off. It's not just going to be instant gratification and overnight success. There's no such thing. You've got to be patient, and you've got to do the work every day, even when the work is not proven to work. And you got to do it for a minimum of 90 days. And that's just like a minimum. And if you're not willing to do that, you should get a job. If you're not willing to do that and be patient through that process, you should get a job, because you're probably going to need to invest in mentorship or training or someone to help you. And you're going to need money to do that. Okay? Otherwise, you're going to keep spinning your wheels. I don't know. You ask yourself, how long have you been where you are right now? How long have you been in the same place that you are right now? People we talk to have been there for years. And to me, that's just unacceptable. It's unnecessary, right? It's unnecessary, but it's a lack of willingness to change, okay? So most people are just not focused. Most people are not focused on sales activities. So again, conversations and connections. If you need money, that's all you need to be doing. If you're not doing 10, 20K months, you don't need to be doing anything else. You have no business doing anything else. Connections, conversations. Okay? If you are a CEO and you have a seller in your company, that seller needs to be generating a minimum of a sale a week. And if they're not doing that, they're not talking to enough people. So your seller is underperforming. And if you're a seller working for a CEO or a company and you're not producing a sale a week at minimum, you are not focused on the right activities. You're not using your time efficiently and effectively. And that's going to have to change, because you're costing the CEO money and you should be driving profit in the business. Okay? If you're a CEO and you don't have time to be down in all these conversations, then you need to hire a seller. And the seller should be doing that for you. Okay? So connections with the people that you already have in your space. Every single person here has friends on their Facebook profile. They have people connected with them on Instagram, people connected with them on LinkedIn. Almost everybody has people in a Facebook group or an email list. That's your ecosystem. Go open up each one of those people, one by one, by one, by one. And ask yourself, what do I know about this person? How can I serve them, help them? How can I build trust with them, rapport? How can I build a relationship so they will see me as a solution to their problem? And when they're ready to buy, they buy from me. How do I do that? And you go through one by one, by one, by one, by one, by one, and you work your database. You don't open up social media and play on social media, right? You don't send weird DMs. You don't go down a list in a Facebook group and be like, friend, 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 like randomly. You look at the people you have in front of you and you build a relationship with them. Why are you building an audience if you're not going to communicate with the audience? They're not just going to buy from you because they joined your Facebook group. They're not just going to buy because they signed up for something free you had. They're not just going to buy from you because they're connected with you. They're going to buy from whoever they know, like, and trust. Just like you do, and just like I do, and just like the rest of the world does. We buy from brands and people we know, like, and trust, period, end of conversation. I will always buy from someone I know, like, and trust over someone I have no idea who you are, and you're pitching me in my DMs, and you're tagging me in weird shit that I don't care about, right? And you're trying to sell me something that I don't need. I will always buy from someone I know, like, and trust over that person. So if you're being that person to your audience and you're like, oh, thanks for joining my Facebook group and thanks for accepting my request, and like, hey, if you're looking for this, this is what I do, stop doing that. You're blocked when you do that. They're done with you. You know what you just did? You eroded trust. You put up their sales resistance and created objections for yourself. And their objections you're not going to be able to guide them through because you don't have a relationship with them and you don't know anything about them. So that objection stays right there. And you're creating that experience for yourself. Okay? So was this helpful? Let me know in the comments. If you guys understand that marketing and content are not the same as a sales activity, right? And that most of what you guys are doing are not sales activities. Okay? Awesome. Okay. I don't see questions. However, 2 things for you guys as we wrap up. Number 1, we have a workshop kicking off next week. It is the Sales Performance Multiplier Workshop. Oh, Juanita, glad to hear it. You're welcome. In this workshop, we're going to be talking about your sales pipeline. So top of funnel, middle of funnel, bottom of funnel, which is lead generation, audience nurture, building trust, conversations, down to the bottom of the funnel, which is sales conversations and conversions, so new clients. We're going to be talking about that. We're going to talk about human behavior, language, and energy. So how to talk to people in a way that actually builds trust, not erodes it. A lot of what you guys say, the problem is how you're saying it to people. And that is what is creating objections. And that's what's creating sales resistance. And it's eroding trust when that person no longer trusts you. It's the way that you're saying what you're saying to them. So we're going to be talking about human behavior language and sales psychology and how to speak to people in a way that actually lowers their sales resistance, eliminates objections up to 90%, and it has people leaning in and listening. Okay? That requires a level of a skill set that a lot of people don't have, but we're going to be talking about that. We're going to talk about how to eliminate 90% of objections. Everybody I know gets tons of objections. I don't really get any. So we're going to talk about how and why that exists and why that happens. You're very welcome, Cornisha. I'm glad this was super helpful. So if you are not registered for that workshop, we kick off next week. We're going Monday through Friday, 1 p.m. Eastern. We'll go for about a max of 60 minutes. And so if you're not registered for that, comment workshop below. And my team will reach out to you and get you registered. Like I said, we have a workbook. We kick off Monday. It's definitely a sales workshop. So if you want more sales, if you need more sales, this is the workshop to be. And I promise the guarantee is that what I teach, nobody else is teaching. So you're going to hear things for the first time. You're going to hear things you've never heard before. And you're going to hear me kind of eliminate and erase a lot of things that you have heard that are very ineffective and dated. And I'm going to be equipping you with some new strategy and new techniques. So you're definitely, this is new and this is fresh and you have not heard this before. So if you want to participate in that workshop, it's free. Kicks off Monday next week. Comment workshop below wherever you're listening to this training. My team will reach out and get you registered. If you are someone who is running your business and you're working with clients and you're filling your programs and you're marketing and you're doing all of the things, but you're just at a point where you're not generating enough sales, you're not generating consistent sales, you're not seeing rapid sales growth always every day, and you want to increase your sales, maybe you're doing the sales, maybe you have a seller and you want your seller to be doing this, or maybe you want to hire a seller and you want your seller down in the weeds, generating sales every single week for you. Or if you are a seller, we have the Peak Sales Performance Academy, and that is a sales training program. We will literally help you set up your sales system, set up your sales strategy, create your sales language. We'll help you build a strong sales skill set that you'll be able to take in any career, in any economy, no matter what, for the rest of your life. You will have a sales skill set that no one else on the planet is teaching. These are not sales skills that you've been taught by other people. These are real sales skills from my 20 years of human behavior sales psychology education and background. These are not like a strategy that I used one time that generated sales, and now I'm selling it as a sales strategy. That is not, strategy is not a sale. Those are 2 different things. And the way that most coaches sell to you guys today, and I want you to hear this because maybe you're doing this, the way that coaches sell to you today is they tell you, I have a strategy, and this strategy will create you sales. So they're telling you that a strategy equals sales. And here's the truth. All the strategies work, right? All of them work. There's not one strategy that produces it. All the strategies work as good as the driver of them. So if the person doing the strategy is not good at selling and doesn't have good effective communication and doesn't have a relationship with their people and they don't know how to sell, that strategy is not working for you. What I do different is I help you build sales skills. We build muscle memory. So all the strategies will work for you. Any strategy will work. Any career, any position, any niche, any business. It doesn't matter. I could sell anything because I have a sales skill. Coaches are training you today to think that a specific strategy is your answer to sales. And that isn't true unless you know how to sell that strategy. If you don't know how to do that, that strategy isn't going to work for you. Right? I always tell people, putting a business owner inside of a strategy that they don't know how to drive sales with is like putting a five-year-old in a car and saying, go drive us to the store. They wouldn't have a friggin' clue how to do that. Right? So does it mean the car's broke? Or the person driving it doesn't know what they're doing? The answer, obviously, is the person driving doesn't know what they're doing. It isn't the actual car being the strategy. A lot of you have invested and learned a lot of strategy that doesn't make you money. It's not the strategy, because all of the strategies work. Every single last one of them. Courses, automation, funnels, webinars, challenges, Facebook ads, you name it, organic, paid, every single bit of those things work if the person using them knows how to make them work. And all that coaches teach today is a strategy that's working for them today. Right? Think about that. What I teach is sales skill. How to make money in a business with your brain, using your skills. Right? You pour those skills into any strategy and it works. Because all the strategy works if the person using it knows what they're doing. Okay? I want you to really, really take that in and understand that, because look around you. Many of you invest in a person and you're like, oh, they're going to teach me their strategy. I'm so excited. This is finally going to be my $1 million maker. It's finally going to be the thing that makes all my dreams come true. I can't wait for that person to make me rich. Number one, no one can do that for you. That's your job. That's not anybody else's job. That's your job. That's your job. And number two, that strategy works for that person because they know how to sell it. They know how to sell inside that strategy. If you don't know how to sell inside that strategy, you're just learning a strategy that isn't going to do anything for you. It's going to take up a bunch of your time, and you're going to be frustrated because it's another strategy that didn't work for you. So it's not about learning more strategy, you guys. I don't think any of you need more information. I don't think any of you need to learn more stuff. I think you need to build your sales skill and then apply that to all this money and time you've poured into learning all these strategies that are not making you money. Right? It is not the strategy that makes you money, guys. Right? It is not the strategy that makes you money. Stop investing in coaches or courses hoping that that's going to be the thing. You're going to be the thing. You, this up here. You're going to be the thing that's going to make or break your business, not a strategy. Okay? I want you guys to understand that, because there's nobody in this space teaching sales skills. Everybody is just like, here's another strategy. Oh my God, I made $1 million in the DMs. Who wants to make $1 million and never get on a call again? Oh my God, I automated a webinar and a funnel and I made $1 million. I'm going to sell it to you for 200. Who wants to learn how to do it? And if you don't know how to sell and you're not making money now, that isn't even going to work for you. Right? No one is teaching sales skills. Do you know why? Because most coaches don't have any. Most coaches don't have sales skills. That's not their expertise. That's not what they started their business to do. They're just learning strategies. They're getting really good at it. And then once they make money with it, they're teaching it to people, everybody else. They're teaching it to you. But if you don't build your sales skill and learn how to effectively communicate and how to sell and how to nurture and build relationship and move a person from cold to close, if you don't learn how to do that, there's not going to be any strategy that's going to work. And this is why so many of you are not where you want to be financially. You keep looking outside of yourself for a strategy that's going to be the secret sauce, the thing you've waited for your whole life, and it's going to blow up your business. That is never going to happen, my friends. And you're going to be so disappointed every time you keep investing in learning somebody else's strategy that happens to work for them today. But guess what? Next month, they'll have another strategy for you. This one made me $500K. And then the next month, guess what, guys? This is my best course yet. The DMs made me $1 million. And then the next month, they have another thing. These are just strategies working for them. It doesn't mean anything for you, right? You have to build your skill. When you build your sales skill set, all the strategies will work for you. They'll all work for you. And then you can pick all the damn things you want and make all the money you want. But if you don't learn these skills, you're course hopping. You're hopping from coach to course, and you're just learning a bunch of stuff. And I always tell people, I think learning is a $0 value if you don't know how to apply what you're learning, right? If you invest $500 or $1,000 or $100,000, if you invest any money in learning a new strategy, okay, and you don't know how to make that strategy work for you, was that worth the money you invested, or was it worth $0? If you can't make it work for you, what was it worth? 0. It wasn't worth anything. Learning is a $0 value if you can't make it work for you. If what you're learning and consuming, you don't know what to do with it. How many of you have learned a whole bunch of stuff, but you don't know how to actually make it work for you, right? You have to ask yourself, how much longer can you afford to keep doing that? And how long are you available to do that? How long are you willing to keep doing that same thing over and over before you realize that that's just not the answer? I was guilty of this for 8 years. I did this for 8 years. I invested in everything that popped up in my newsfeed. I invested in every person that emailed me and said some sexy strategy was the thing. Or, oh my God, this new trendy tactic is the way to make the money. I invested and invested and invested, but because I didn't know how to make it work for me, and because a lot of times I didn't have the skill, I didn't have the things in place, or I just didn't even have the knowledge, those things didn't work for me. And so it's not the course or the training that was bad. It's not the person teaching it. It was worth $0 for me personally because I didn't know how to make it work for me. What is the point of learning something that you don't know what to do with? That is worth $0. Please, for the love of God, stop doing that. Please stop doing that. All of those things can work when you build a skill. Listen, you've heard this before, I'm sure. Entrepreneurship is not for the faint of heart. And really what that means is there's only 1% of entrepreneurs cut out. 1% actually make it. Why do you think that is? It's because only 1% ever develop actual skill. Mastery, guys, mastery. 1% develop true mastery. And the rest, dabble. They look for shortcuts. They look for cheat sheets. They look for free. They look for overnight. They look for fast. They don't have what it takes. And I want you guys to understand, sales mastery is the answer. That is the way, period. And then you can have success in any career that you ever enter, right? Any career. I have my own business that I'm extremely successful in. It's my second business. But guess what? I also have multi-million and even 8-figure coaches who hire me to train their sales teams. That's an opportunity because of my sales skill, right? That's not an opportunity out of luck. That's because of my skill. I have what most people don't have, right? And now I teach this to my clients. And now that's what my focus and my mission is to teach sales skill. Of course, we talk strategy. That's how you make money, right? You apply your skill to a strategy. But we have to build the skill. We have to teach you how to effectively communicate. We need you to understand sales at its core. You need to know how to talk to people. You need to know how to move people through conversation. You need to build resilience and tough skin and commitment, and you got to be agile, and you got to be all in, and you got to be committed, and you got to be willing to do what others are not willing to do, right? And then you need to know where to put your focus and prioritize, and you need to know how to structure your day. You need to get organized and focused so that you can back in to your goals with activities that actually produce those goals. Okay? I hope this was a big eye opener for you guys. I hope it was helpful. I hope it woke up some sparks for a lot of you guys. And I really hope that you actually do something with what you're learning here. And I think by doing it would be, one, go do the things, connections and conversations starting today. Don't go back to what you would normally do right now. Number two, start thinking about the types of things you've been investing time, money, and energy in. Are those the right things? Are they producing sales and clients every day? At minimum, every week. If you say no to that, no matter what stage of business you're at, if you're not producing a minimum of a sale a week, you're not focused in the right places. You're losing money, you're losing sales, you're leaving money on the table that could be sitting in your bank account, period. Okay? I hope this was helpful, and I hope I see you guys next week for another weekly sales training. Actually, we won't be doing a weekly sales training next week because we have the workshop. So I hope I see you in there. If you guys are interested in learning the sales that we just talked about and building that skill, then go ahead and comment below Academy. We have a sales training academy, and we can plug you into that. And we spend the whole year training you or your seller, depending on what your business looks like. But we will train you on all the things sales. So you're driving sales growth every single week, every single day in your business, no matter what. We'll pour rocket fuel under all the strategy that you're currently using, that you've invested in, and we'll teach you how to really sell. Just comment Academy below, and we will we'll touch base. My team will touch base, or I'll touch base with you, and we'll share the details of the program, and we'll see if it is a good fit for you, if we think that you would have success in that program. If you want to join the free workshop kicking off next week, definitely just comment workshop below, and my team will get in touch with you, and we'll get you registered. All right, everybody. See you next week.